Somewhere over the Atlantic, 30,000 feet above the ocean, a formation of C-17 Globemaster aircraft cuts silently through the dark. No announcement, no press conference. Just steel, fuel, and purpose, moving fast in one direction. Something major is unfolding, and the world is only beginning to notice. In the last 72 hours, the United States military has activated a rapid deployment operation unlike anything seen in recent years. Multiple bases, multiple branches, simultaneous movement across thousands of miles. This is not a drill. This is not a training exercise. This is the full weight of American military power shifting into position. And tonight, you're going to see exactly how it happens, from the first alert to boots hitting the tarmac in the Middle East. If you are new to this channel, right now is the time to hit that subscribe button. We cover U.S. military operations, naval power, and global defense strategy the way it deserves to be covered. No fluff, no speculation. Just a real story told with the detail it demands. Subscribe. Turn on notifications, because this story is just getting started. It began with a single intelligence report. Tensions in the Middle East have been simmering for weeks, but when reports surfaced indicating a massive missile strike campaign launched from Iranian territory toward Israel, every alarm inside the United States defense establishment went loud at once. Within minutes, the order came down from the top. All branches on combat alert. Air Force, Marine Corps, fighter squadrons. Every unit was told the same thing. Be ready to move. At bases across the continental United States, that order landed like a thunderclap at 3 a.m. Inside the barracks, Marines were already lacing up their boots before the lights fully came on. Within the hour, buses were lined up outside, engines running, waiting. No one needed to be told twice. These were trained professionals, and every one of them knew exactly what a middle-of-the-night full-alert mobilization meant. They loaded onto those buses in silence, gear on their backs, and the buses moved out toward the airfield. When they arrived, the C-17 was already there. Rear ramp down, cargo bay open, interior lights glowing against the pre-dawn darkness like the entrance to something enormous and inevitable. Cargo handlers were already working. Forklifts weaving across the tarmac with precision, flatbed carts loaded and moving. Ammunition crates went in first, hundreds of them, stacked and secured. Then portable generators, communication systems, medical supply pallets, and tactical gear in sealed containers. Every piece of equipment loaded onto that aircraft had a purpose. Every pound of cargo represented a decision made somewhere up the chain of command about what this mission was going to require. The aircraft's first stop would be another U.S. military base to pick up additional soldiers and equipment. Then, fully loaded, it would make the long push to the Middle East. One aircraft, dozens more behind it, because this was not happening at one base. Across the country, at multiple airfields simultaneously, the same scene was playing out on a massive scale. C-17s with their ramps down, armored vehicles being driven directly into cargo bays, armored trucks, tactical buggies, MRAP vehicles built to absorb battlefield punishment, and heavy transport systems designed to keep a forward operating force mobile under any conditions. Once inside the aircraft, each vehicle was chained down to the cargo floor with industrial-grade tie-downs. Nothing moves in transit. Everything arrives ready to operate. Here's a question worth sitting with for a moment. When you see this level of simultaneous multi-base mobilization, what does that actually tell you about the scale of what the military is preparing for? Think about that. We will come back to it. While the transport aircraft were being loaded, a separate category of preparation was happening at fighter bases. Mechanics and ground crews were moving through their pre-deployment inspection checklists with the kind of focus that only comes from knowing real stakes are involved. Radar systems tested, avionics verified, electrical wiring inspected throughout the entire airframe, engine intake checks, fuel system verification from tank to line to nozzle. Each aircraft reviewed from nose to tail before a single weapon was touched. Then came the weapons load. Air-to-air missiles mounted to hard points with precision. Precision-guided munitions fitted and electronically connected to the aircraft's targeting systems. Every weapon verified for integration with the jet's onboard electronics. These aircraft were not being prepared for a show of force. They were being prepared for whatever came next. Inside the hangars, soldiers were doing something quieter but just as significant. Packing, uniforms, combat boots, personal hygiene items, and the small personal effects that soldiers carry when they know they are leaving for a long time. No one in that hangar was operating under the illusion that this was a short rotation. The orders were clear. Indefinite deployment to a forward military base in the Middle East. No hard return date, no fixed timeline, just a mission and however long it takes. By evening, the boarding order came through. Soldiers formed into columns and marched toward the aircraft in the fading light. Loadmasters conducted final cargo checks and confirmed head counts. Ramps came up, one by one. Engines spooled to full power, and the aircraft rolled down the runway and lifted into the night sky. When those C-17s touched down in the Middle East, the unloading began immediately. Soldiers stepped onto the tarmac. Vehicles were unchained and driven out. Forklifts pulled cargo pallets and moved them to staging areas. The aircraft did not stay long. They turned around and headed back to pick up the next wave. At the forward base, maintenance crews began working around the clock. Fuel trucks pumped JP, ate into aircraft tanks. Weapons teams installed munitions. By the time pilots walked into their first briefing, every jet on that flight line was fueled, armed, and ready. The soldiers standing on that tarmac looked out at a base that would be their home for an unknown number of weeks or months. More flights were still inbound. The buildup was not finished. It was just beginning. What you witness in this video is a machinery of American military power doing what was built to do: Project Force, rapidly at scale across thousands of miles in response to a shifting threat environment. Whether this leads to direct engagement or serves as a powerful strategic deterrent, one thing is certain. The United States does not move this many assets this fast without a clear purpose. If this breakdown gave you a better understanding of how modern military deployments actually work, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit the bell so you never miss an upload. We cover the stories behind the operations, the logistics, the technology, the strategy, and the real-world stakes that most coverage never digs into. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you think this level of mobilization signals for the region? We read every response. The aircraft are still flying. The buildup continues. And we will be here to cover every development as it unfolds.